Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Gaming After Dark. I'm your host, Noof Nukem, with my co-host,
Primal Eve, coming straight from her bedroom.
and we're going to have a great show for you tonight. Not only is it me and Primal, but for the first time, I think in, probably my podcast history, going to have a little three-way here with two awesome ladies. Our guest tonight is the incredible, the charismatic, and highly opinionated Ashen Luca. She's a friend of mine. We go back quite a ways. She does her own podcast a lot of times on the weekend. You may have heard of it. It's called the Scumcast. Ashen Luca, how are you? And welcome to Gaming After Dark.
Hey, what's goody, my hoodie? How you doing, bud? It's Luca here, your resident scumbag, and I'm looking forward to getting into these topics tonight. Honestly, Noof, we're probably gonna end up getting into a couple of arguments, so that three-way may not go exactly as planned. So.
That's all right. I know. We're going to dive into, obviously, one of the most hotly contested rumors that's been floating around pretty much for the last week. Some of you guys in the chat might be sick of it already. I think you already know where we're going with it. I guess I'm coming around a little bit, but at least I will give you at least my take of where I'm coming from, that sort of thing. So we're going to dive right in. We got, easy peasy questions coming up a little bit later on too. Not everything is all game related. Sometimes we have some movie stuff. We got some regular light and fluffy stuff. Luca's used to that as well, having the light and fluffy along with the game related stuff. I hope my computer doesn't go stupid on me tonight because my God, I bought this new computer for Christmas and it works like a piece of shit half the time. I don't know, but yeah, this is going to be a great show. How is everybody doing? Let's address some of our chat first before we get into the meat and potatoes. I got the meat. You got the potatoes, girls?
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely mashed.
Spider-Man 356, what's happening, brother? He's usually always one of the first in the chats. Crazy Greek dude is here. What's happening? Timothy Dixon. We got Titan Drago. He's one of the loudest guys out there outside of Mooch for sure. Who else we got up in this chat? We got Draven Nero. I think Draven might be new. I'm not sure, but thanks for popping by. And yes, we might talk about the THQ Nordic.
Draven Nero's a homie.
He's a homie. What's going on, Draven Nero? Chaos Theory is here. And we'll get into it. So yes, guys, first topic, and I'm gonna I'll leave my 2 cents for last. Some of you guys probably heard it on other podcasts and blah blah blah. I'll leave the floor. I guess we'll get Primal's take on it, and then we'll hear from Luca. So it is the big rumor. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, so to speak. It's been going around for days, weeks, and we're talking about this rumor of possibly Xbox expanding by putting Game Pass on multiple devices, one including the Switch. And we also know that some of their games, I think, like what is it? Hellblade was just announced to be coming to the Switch natively, so that probably means a cartridge format. So that's quite interesting, especially considering that Hellblade was just recently, obviously, bought by Microsoft, and that publishing deal is going forward. So let's start with Primal. Primal. I don't know if you've been talking or following all of this commotion. It's been huge, but give us your take. Where do you stand on it? What are the pros? What are the cons? And what's your take on the whole thing?
It's kind of hard to not see any of this, but to keep it simple, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't fucking affect me. I think it's great for other people though, because it's options. And if somebody wants to play Game Pass on their Switch, on their refrigerator, on their toaster, whatever, that's fantastic. I am here for the games. It doesn't matter what system, what device, console, whatever. I just want to play the damn games. I understand some people's point of view where it could be the downfall of consoles and things like that, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. We do have more systems coming out. We still have years and years of more console gaming. I don't really think it's going to go away. But I do like the idea that Xbox is kind of spreading its honey a little bit. It doesn't mean that, that they're desperate or begging. I think it's great. I don't see really a con at all. It's more options for people. It gets people together more. I would love to play with somebody who doesn't have an Xbox and they only have a Switch because, I don't know, their wife or whatever won't let them. I don't know, whatever situation. But if I could still play with them somehow, any type of cross play, any type of anything, I think is great.
Absolutely. Luca, what's your take on the whole thing? And obviously, Luca, you pay attention a lot to sort of narratives from both sides, from the PlayStation camp, the Xbox side of things. And obviously, it seems like both camps, whichever one you happen to be more of a fan of, is playing this scenario out a little bit differently. So give us your take on what you've seen from the community. Who do you feel, or what views do you feel are logic, and what do you think are the pros and cons, and how do you feel about the whole scenario?
Well, I'm pretty much with Eve on this. I don't really care. I have a hard time caring about stuff I don't care about. And to be quite honest, I think that, I mean, we all saw this coming. Xbox hasn't had an exclusive since Halo 5, so it's like whatever to me about it. As for the narratives I'm seeing on both sides, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I've been avoiding Twitter. I've been too tired to be dealing with anyone and their nonsense. I don't have the energy for it right now. So, I've seen people freak out and go one way or the other, but I just typically, if your post is longer than like 2 sentences, I'm scrolling past, because I don't have time to read through people's stuff right now. So, I think it's a good thing. More options and more places to play your games. It's cool. Can't really think of too many downsides other than like it's pretty obvious that the Xbox as a console, it's not going to be as poppin' next gen as some may have wanted. Honestly speaking, I do think that this, if they're putting Game Pass on the Switch, and it does devalue the console, like, in my opinion. I'm 100% behind that narrative. I think that's true. But I also think that clearly Xbox doesn't care. And if they don't care, then I don't care, Even if they did care, I still wouldn't care. But it's just kind of like, it's whatever to me. I'm still going to play my games on my Xbox. So,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're not going to sit here and beat this topic to death tonight. Look, options are good. I can't really go that far, and I think I've come around a little bit. I've had lots of time to weigh in on over the last couple of days, and I've been attacked lots for having my opinion. I don't know where my opinion is so much, why it's so wrong and everyone else is so right. And look, I'm sorry. Look, I'm in my 40s. I'm of the old guard, and yes, I think, yeah, sure, you can label me as a fanboy, and I'll come out and put my hand up. If you want to call me that, that's fine. If that's how you see Noof Nukem. But look, I don't necessarily always see a problem with it. I don't consider myself a toxic fanboy. Luke, you know me well enough to know that I stay in my own lane. I'm not constantly starting arguments. I'm not constantly showing up in podcasts to say what Xbox is better, blah blah blah, that sort of shit, or calling anyone out or running people to the dirt. But
no, I'm with you. I don't really agree with the people who are constantly questioning you and trying to argue with you, and you end crap. I don't see the point in doing that, to be perfectly honest. Like, for me, like, I put my opinions out there, and then I always got a slew of people arguing with me, and it's annoying. It's super annoying. I don't want to argue with people. I know it's hard to believe, given my personality quirks, but I really don't want to argue with people. I'd rather us all be chill and copacetic, But, even though I don't agree 100% with your viewpoints, I'm just like, well, whatever. It's what he thinks, and I just keep it moving. But some people just want to, like, hammer it home and like try to beat you down, and I don't agree with that. I think like, I've had to mute a bunch of my mutuals because of that shit. It's just fucking annoying.
Well, absolutely. Well, look, the thing is, right now, like I said, I want to go on all night with this, but I mean, for me, like I said, I'm old school, I'm old guard, I'm a traditionalist. Everybody pretty much knows that Noof Nukem is still the last of the dinosaurs. I'm hanging on to discs. I'm still buying my games on disc. I still get my CDs. I don't, the only reason I download any digital, and I think music is a totally different beast altogether. Like, music was meant to be portable, because you're not going to drag around 500 CDs to listen to one song. It's not like a game, right? But that's a story for another day. But I still buy the CD if and when I can actually get the fucking things. It's so hard nowadays. I buy my Blu Rays. I buy my 4Ks. I buy my games on disc. I try to rarely, if ever, get them digitally. I don't even like the free stuff that you get through Gold or PlayStation Plus, because it's digital, and I often end up going out and buying the disc version when it's cheap anyway, which I know makes no fucking sense. But the thing is, like, look, I see Microsoft as the company, and like, to me, Microsoft is the brand, Xbox is the product. I never saw Xbox as a brand. You know, now they've basically taken it over as a brand. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at a car dealership, right? General Motors is the dealership. The brands that they sell are like, you know, they're Chevrolet or blah, blah, blah. So, like, Xbox to me has always been associated with a console that played, well, at one point in time, highly and only exclusive games, because you couldn't play Halo on PC. You couldn't play Gears on a PC. For a long time, their games were only available on the console box. And yes, as soon as you go into that narrative, yes, it's a fanboy, it's a list wars, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm not really about the whole list wars. I got a PlayStation and stuff. And you know why I buy a PlayStation? No, I buy it because it has games that I really love that I cannot get anywhere else. And obviously, once Microsoft takes that out of their equation, you will go somewhere else to play their games if you're not convinced to buy the box itself. So what's going to happen come Christmas or whenever, when people eventually, when you can walk into the store and somebody's trying to say, convince you, why should I buy this console, this console, this console, if you're interested in consoles? And they're going to say, well, I can't really tell you why you should buy this Xbox, because you can basically play these games now on your PC, or you can play them on your Switch, et cetera, et cetera. And it just kind of, like Luca said, it devalues what the console is. It devalues what it means, regardless of the list war bullshit. It's just, it feels like a bit of a slap in the face. Like, for all the money and all the time I have invested into that ecosystem, to turn around and just give it to everybody. And on top of that, like the guys on RDX brought up tonight, you still got to pay for gold to play on your fucking console, but you can play it for free on PC. It makes no sense, right? And Luke, you brought this up on your podcast about, you know, you talked about how it's stupid that on PlayStation you can play the free to play games with the membership or without the membership, but on Xbox you got to have it. And I think that's stupid. But like I said, I'm going into a bunch of different things. Like I said, I'm old school. I'm old guard. I probably will come around. I don't see myself not playing Halo or Gears. You know what I mean? Even if that means that, you know what I mean? I'm always going to want to play them. Hopefully I'll always be able to play them on an Xbox based console. But at some point, and this is where we're heading, and this is why I have a hard time, at some point, maybe not now, maybe not for the next 4 or 5 years, but at that point when they come out and say, we no longer have a piece of hardware, you can play your Xbox on your TV, and that's going to be great, I'm sure, for millions of people. But for Noof Nukem, it just feels like the times have changed. And again, I don't like being told what to do and how I need to consume my content. And that's another part of the problem. When people are telling me how I need to enjoy my entertainment, it's when I say, F you, man. I'm the one paying the money. And just because 8 out of 10 people prefer to do it digitally, or they prefer to do it this way, I have to too. I fucking hate that. I hate it when people just drive you out no matter what. And I know the options are going to be there, but we're going to come to a situation later on in the show. We're going to talk about Samsung. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. You guys know how I feel. I'm not saying it's terrible. I think it's a great idea. I mean, overall, it's kind of hard to argue with. The options are good. But again, just taking a little while to come around. I'll leave it at that, guys. Any more comments on it here?
Yeah, no, it's definitely weird, because I remember, like, oh God, 10 plus, 13 plus, 14 plus years ago, when I worked at a store that you can buy and sell used games. The way that I would sell the systems is that each system was completely different. You had Nintendo as a family system. That's where you have your kids. You had the PlayStation one, where you had more of the single players, the JRPGs, the ones that you want to do. The Xbox was the multiplayer. That was your shooters and everything. And now it's all kind of melding together. And I can understand why you don't want to get rid of the console, because that's something that you grew up. That's something that you know. It's almost like a comfort thing. It's part of you. It's like your home. You know, and the way that you're seeing it is that they're trying to take that away from you, and you don't want to give it up. I understand completely what you're saying, but unfortunately, they are not giving us a choice, and it is the way things are going. And I'll get more into it probably when we talk about the Samsung thing, because it brought back a lot of memories.
It's like power windows in cars. I never had a goddamn problem with the roll them down windows. You know what I'm saying? I never asked for power windows. Now, are power windows more convenient? Absolutely. But you know what? They also come with problems.
All right, guys. Now I agree with you. But here's why you're wrong. Okay, listen.
Go ahead, Luca. Get it out.
Now, I really think the whole concept of not wanting other people to have what you have because you've put all this time and money and all this stuff into Xbox ecosystem. I'm not sure that I 100% cannot get behind that. Because at the end of the day, didn't you get what you wanted out of the Xbox ecosystem? You made a lot of friends. You've played games online. You've had tons and tons and tons of hours of content from it. So, right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you've gotten what you wanted. It doesn't make any sense logically for you to be against any of it, to be perfectly honest. Like, because the viewpoint that you're offering here is that you're saying, hey, I want this to still be mine, basically. It's not fair that they're getting it too. And I understand that gaming is a selfish hobby, but it doesn't make sense to me that you would feel that way or want it that way. Now, I understand that you are older than I am. And, you know, we have different perspectives on life, especially since, you know, you are in a different country than me as well. So there's that that factors into it. But me personally, as long as I can still play my games where I want, I'm fine with it. And I don't see the point in worrying and rallying against something that is far off in the future. It's not like they're going to take away the Xbox from you within the next 5 to 6 years. You know, that's not going to happen. And technology changes, technology grows. And me and you have had this conversation several times before. Unfortunately, Noob, you're just either get with the times or get out, as they say, you know? Absolutely. And it's unfortunate that it's like that, but it's kind of like you do also still have an option. And that option, as for now, as for what we are aware of to a certain point, is if you want to game traditionally, there's a console for you. It's called the PlayStation. So one way or another, if you can't get behind what Xbox is doing, you're going to end up leaving their ecosystem anyway.
Right. So. Well, I have absolutely no. I love PlayStation, but personally, I like, you know, I just always like the Xbox platform more. But I'm willing to spend my money whichever company sort of falls in line with my ideals and values. And you know, at some point in time, Sony's probably going to have to get with the times, or they're going to have to change. I don't know what their deal is, because they've been very mum on a lot of things. But you know, over the past 4 or 5 years in particular, they definitely seem to be a little more in line with just the way I've always viewed console gaming. They're very focused on single player games, story driven stuff, that sort of thing. Whereas Microsoft, look, as far as like, I wonder would Microsoft would be in the same boat if their console was the market leader. Would they have changed?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I've said that,
but I think it does.
No, I 100% don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, this is the way the industry has been going for a long while now. Like, they saw it back in 2013 when they did come, like, they didn't win that generation, but they did come off of the 360, and they were trying to do this. Well, you can, your TV, and you can do this and this and this, and everyone was DRM and all that shit, right? Always online, all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, they would have eventually gotten to this point. It may have taken a bit longer, but they would still be at this point. And I think bringing up the whole, well, would they have done this if it doesn't matter, because they're doing it. This is the future. This is what we have to contend with. So worrying and considering what might have been and how things could have changed or been different based off different choices they would have made, there's no point to it, because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything. All you have to do is focus on what's happening right now. And yeah, man, like it doesn't really matter, you know, because they're still gonna do this. They're still going to put their games everywhere, as Phil Spencer says. They're going to put Gamepass everywhere. It's just what they want, because they figure, hey, we can't compete in this area, so we're gonna transition to something else, you know. PlayStation's gonna get there too eventually, once they figure out their ecosystem and get that shit sorted out. Like, everyone is moving towards this future. And it's like with all things, well, almost all things in technology, you got to get with the times or risk being left behind. Take Blockbuster, for instance. Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix. Blockbuster was like, hey, go fuck yourself. No one's going to do that. Netflix is dominating right now. So it's just kind of like, you got to be 2 steps ahead or risk being left in the dirt, you know?
Right.
Like,
absolutely. I see where you're going from.
Microsoft is not Nintendo. They can't just consistently and randomly come back from their fuck ups. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's just kind of like there's a path, and this is the path that they're going down. And like I said before, as it stands right now, they have what, 2 or 3 consoles that they plan on coming out with next gen. There's still the X.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, I don't think you have anything to worry about for a long while, especially since everything's going to be backwards and forward compatible. So it's just kind of like, you can keep whatever system you get next for a long while, and they're still going to be making games for it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just don't see the point in worrying about something that might not happen for another like 10 to 15 years.
I'm not over here with the finger on the old panic button yet. I'm just voicing.
Are you? Because I see you on Twitter a lot, panicking about a lot of stuff, Noof. You're always saying something about not wanting to lose your physical all the time, like literally all the time. So I think you are panicking a little bit, and that's okay. I think it's perfectly okay. But you can't act like you're not. That's not what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I see you doing this shit all the time, Noof. Okay.
All right. Okay. Bulletin board just saying the next Halo game coming to your grandmother's sewing machine. Bank on it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's a topic. It's done to death. It is what it is. Like Luca points out, and Primal Eve, the future comes whether you're ready for it or not. You basically can either embrace it or, like I said, you move out of the way. So, and at the end of the day, it's where we decide to spend our money. How you spend it is up to you. It is your dollars to spend, but that's how you speak loudly to this gaming industry. It's no good to chirp about it. It's, you got to speak with your wallet, right? So there you have it. I want to give a shout out to the chat. Michael Monkey Punch Lugo is in here. Dreadpool. We got my brothers from the Saltiest Gaming Podcast. Salty is in the house. Hope your daughter is doing well. Salty, hope you're well. And as well as Titan Drago. We got Silent Wyvern. What's happening? BZ McNasty's up in here, guys. Axel 1324. Thanks for stopping by. C-Script is here. We got True Thanks. I guess it's True Thanks. Chaos Theory and Nate. If I missed anybody, guys, I do apologize. Let me know if I missed your name. I'd like to give shout outs to everybody that comes to hang out with us. It's greatly appreciated. But it is what it is. Not going to beat it to death. I'm going to try to simmer down and be a little less, as Luca would say, panicky, I suppose, and just take it as it goes. And we'll see where things go. I want to see what,
like I said before, I just, I see your posts and I just leave you be. I'm just like, whatever, doof. I just keep it moving. And like I said, I don't agree with people hounding you and like trying to get you to change your viewpoint. Like, I just really do not understand the whole, hey, you know what? Let me just go and argue with this person about their opinion. This is what happens to me all the time. I make a fucking post, right? Minding my whole ass business, as per fucking usual, right? And I get some fuckface coming out of nowhere saying, Luca, this is why you're wrong. Only for me to prove them wrong. And then it's just like, oh, they disappear. They fucking disappear. Like, it's just what happens. Just what happens all the time. Like, don't question me. Don't question me, okay? You're always going to be wrong if you question me. 9 times out of 10, if you question me, I'm going to make you look stupid. So don't question me. Anyway, but yeah, I just leave you, I see your posts. Hey. I'm just like, oh, Noof is just being Noof. And I just leave him alone.
I've learned my lesson. I don't argue with the ladies. They always win, guys. Don't you know that by now? They always win. Just shut your hole and move along. Primal, what's happening? You're quiet over there, I know, because we've been
just fucking chilling. I'm actually kind of farming on the side. This topic has been done and dead. At the end of the day, hopefully all of us are gamers and we care about the games. So that's just where I see it. I really don't care.
Right. I can't win, Shiznam. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. Slow mo backslap. What's happening, man? What's going on? We got some new people up in here. Super Villain, how you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by, checking out the show. Brian F. He says hello to the ladies here in the chat. Yeah, I'm getting tag teamed by the ladies here tonight, and it's not the good kind either. Man, my balls is cold up in here. What's going on? Let's talk about Anthem, guys. This game is out now. People have been playing the hell out of it. Some people are loving it. Critics are kind of all over the place. Some nasty reviews. Salty's got a review coming too. Looking forward to seeing what he's got to say about it. I can start with you, Primal. Did you buy it, and what's your impression of Anthem so far? Do you think it's good or what?
I had no intention of buying this game, but due to a contest little thing I did through Death Spanked and Lazy Black Gamer, I won it.
Nice.
So I've been playing that, and my feelings haven't changed from the beta demo thing that they had. I am enjoying it because I'm playing with my friends.
Right.
I still feel like I'm playing Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm also, it's kind of repetitive doing the same things. Let's stand here until the circle is done scanning things. Hey, let's go save this person over here who really doesn't matter to you or the story. It's just, I've been there, done that type thing. Yes, it does look kind of new with the whole jetpack thing and everything, but I've already done it. And it's very frustrating for me because during the beta demo thing, I don't even know what to fucking call that. They said it was a demo, it was a beta. That the stronghold is probably the most fun part of the game. It wasn't necessarily a raid, but it was just like it had a purpose. And they only have 3 of them, counting the one that they had us do in the demo. So kind of like the whole end game aspect is not appealing to me. I kind of want to just get through it just so that I can play through the story and be done.
Right.
I'm starting to get a little frustrated with some of these games coming out. Been there, done that. And I know I'm being a hypocritical person because Gears of War is coming out, and I know it's still the same thing, you know, all that A button. But that's just that's part of a series that I have loved and been there. I want to see the story. Anthem hasn't grabbed me to the point where I want to keep going.
What's up, Lunkin Lunker? Thanks for joining the podcast chat, everybody. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody. And Nate, what's happening? He says the jetpack was old after about 10 minutes. So here's a question for you, Primal. What gets you more excited, a round of Anthem or a really small dildo? You let me know.
Shit. Let me see.
What?
Honestly, I am so unlaid right now that I would take it. And like I've told you before,
what, Anthem?
No, I've had better than Anthem, and I've returned it. But no, I've told you before that if my Xbox had a dick, it would be the perfect boyfriend for me. So if there was a way for me to install Anthem and it like pop up another penis, yeah, sure, I'll go with Anthem. But unfortunately, when I hit play and sat at a loading screen, God knows who long, because the EA servers suck major dick. I don't understand why they haven't figured it out yet. Anthem just doesn't do it for me.
Okay. So, Luca, if Xbox had a dick, would it be your perfect boyfriend?
No.
Oh man, that's what I told you about this podcast. It can get a little raunchy up in here. Luca,
it's kind of like Xbox has like the bigger dick, right? But it doesn't have any content, so it has no skills. So there's, I mean, what's the point of having a big dick if it can't do anything? Am I right?
Listen, for me is that it's a console. It could be a PlayStation. It could be an Xbox. It could be a Switch. As long as I can turn it on and off whenever I want to, it doesn't matter what else is there.
It's like having a big dick, but he sewed up his wife's vagina kind of thing, right? You can bang on the door, but ain't nobody home. Woo! Anthem needs Viagra, according to True. Maybe it does. Yes, that went hella quick. Yes, this podcast does. I'll warn you right now, guys. Callie Rex, what's happening, man? Thanks for stopping by, dude. So Primal, or Luca, obviously you kind of caught on to the looter shooter thing with Destiny. I know you're a big fan of the game. Play the hell out of it. Kudos to you on that one, because you stuck with it. Yeah, I see you on that one all the fucking time. So how does this one kind of compare? Because remember, everybody said Anthem was the fucking, like, it was Destiny with, you know, Mass Effect mixed with Destiny. Like, give us your take on the game. I'm assuming you played it or have it, right? I can't recall if you do. So give us your take on the game. Do you think it's living up to hype? Do you think it's getting accurately slammed? What's your take on it?
I can't give an accurate thought on the game because I haven't played it enough to do that. I do know that from what I've played, it doesn't seem like it's as glitchy or has the same problems that it was having for the people who got to play it early. So that patch, that like 3-page patch that they brought out must have done wonders for it, honestly. I think it's unfortunate that the game released in the state that it did. I think that people were expecting a lot from BioWare. I mean, it's BioWare. They're hailed for their storytelling. And even though I personally love looter shooters, I was like expecting something more. But when I heard that the story was mediocre, I was like, that's disappointing. When I saw that you couldn't customize your character, I was like, that's disappointing. It's like ingrained in you, and you kind of can't help feeling that way. It's, you know, personally speaking, I'm not super interested in Anthem. Like, I have the game. My buddy, a Lazy Orbit, bought it for me, so shout out to him. But it's kind of like, it's not really gripping me from what I've played so far. The gameplay's cool. It looks good. It's not as choppy as it was for the demo. The demo like made me sick. I had to turn off fucking motion blur or some shit. I don't know. It's the first time I've had to turn off anything in the settings when it comes to a game. I just think it's really disappointing. And especially, you know, if I was those developers who did Andromeda, I would be like cackling, like, God, y'all really fucking roasted us. But look, okay, all right, yeah. You know, it's just, it sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. And I know that people say that, you know, this was BioWare's decision to make this kind of game. But I'm just kind of like, how do you go from doing RPGs to doing a looter shooter and not learn from all the other looter shooters that have been out? The amount of, like, look at The Division, look at Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. The amount of issues that those games had at launch, substantial. But Anthem, it's like they didn't learn from any of that stuff. And then they claimed that the story was going to be not groundbreaking, but it was going to be your story, and then your actions affect the world and all this stuff, right? And it's just like, man, from what I've heard, that doesn't seem to be the case. But, you know, like I said before, I'm not going to rail against it or hate on it or anything like that because I haven't gotten the chance to play it in depth. It's just unfortunate that all this is happening. I never expected this game to review so poorly. And I don't know, man. I'm worried about BioWare. But you know what? At least I got 3 really good games from that team.
Well, you know, the way I look at it, I didn't buy it, and I was like, I wanted it day one. I know I was hyped for it, but then after I played that demo, beta, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it just left me a little bit I don't know what you can say, underwhelmed. And it wasn't nothing to do with the technicality shit. Like, that had its own issues, right? That's another story. But once I got in and started playing the game, what I just found was, like, I could see it getting monotonous really quick, right? And here's the problem. It's reminded me too much of The Division, right? And the thing when I had a problem with The Division was I liked it when I started out, but after the first week I was working, my friends kept fucking playing it. They were all level God knows what, and I was level down here, and I couldn't even play it with them, right? Oh, they could tow my ass through the levels, and I'd get fucking shot if I popped my head outside of a car, but they were just mowing everything. I said, this is not fun for me. You guys are basically carrying me through the game because I'm too low. And like, basically after a while, I couldn't keep up, and I lost track. And this is what this feels like to me. Like, if you don't keep up, you get left behind. And then when your buddies are level 40 or 50 and you've done these missions 100 times, nobody really wants to go back and play with old Nukem was level 5 and I got to carry you through a level. It didn't feel story focused to me, right? And that's what I've come to expect from BioWare. It's great that they had the multiplayer stuff in it that you could play with 3 other friends. That's really cool. That's the strong part of this game. But I want to know, how does this game stand up when you play by yourself? Because there's going to be lots of times when you're by yourself. And if I got to play with randoms and it's fucking stupid, I can't just go in myself and play a story focused based game. then I got an issue with it because that's what I really thought I was going to get. And people say, well, new if it's not Mass Effect. No, I didn't expect it to be Mass Effect. It looks nothing like Mass Effect. Okay. It's totally different in many ways, but I expected it to be story focused like Mass Effect with obviously these javelins, these really impressive javelins. Like, the graphics are fucking nuts. The javelins are really cool and there's lots of cool weapons. But outside of that, what makes me want to play it? What will make me want to keep playing it? That's all I can say. I'm not here to hate the game. I haven't played the fucking thing. I might buy it, but I ain't goddamn buying it at $80. I'll pick it up on the bargain bin because the way I look at it right now, and based on the feedback, it's going to that bargain bin quicker than your fucking trash ass sister can get her drawers down for the asshole on the street corner.
Oh my!
There you go.
No, but you are right though. Like, so far, I've played like through the story. I don't feel special. Like I need to feel like an individual in the game instead of just being part of the game, if that makes any sense. There's nothing like, really, like, I don't know. I understand
like,
what you're saying.
Go back to Tarsus, talk to some dude, get a mission, go out and fly around some jungle. Yeah. Go back to Tarsus, get a mission, go out and fly around the jungle. Exactly. Like, that's like, is there can anybody tell me, is there anything in this game besides this little open world jungle? Is there anything outside of that? Or are you just going to different parts and then just shooting all these big ass bullet sponge mechs?
I've been inside a cave.
Well, I've been inside a cave too.
There was another cave, and then it's just I don't know.
Tell me, when you went inside the cave, was there a bunch of loading screens? Was there a loading screen to go in?
Oh
loading
my gosh, it was so fucking weird because it has like the waypoint that you're supposed to go to, and then bam, loading screen, and I'm like,
I took my pants down. I was next to a cave, and she said, "Are you loading yet? Are you loading yet?"
And you know what? I can't. I think we are a little bit spoiled because if you go back in the day, not cartridge, but when it was on disc, not on Blu Ray disc, the loading screens were absolutely abysmal. But there should be no reason or any type of excuse to have that today. It's just, you know, Luca, you brought up a point talking about how other games when they come out and they're buggy and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily because of the game. It could be just because of the launch of the game. There's issues with this game that are the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it has nothing to do with it being a launch or anything like that. And I'm not trying to take away any fun from anybody. Every game is different for everybody. But the way that this game was portrayed and the way that it was hyped up, it's not really playing out exactly how they wanted us to see it. But I'm sure there's some people who are completely happy and jerking off to it right now. That's fantastic.
I got a question from my brother Salty is Gaming, who's in the chat. Salty, I know you haven't dropped your review on this sucker yet, but I don't know if you can tell us or not. Maybe I'll go with Titan Drago. So is this game like worth 60 or 80, or is this a bargain bin deal here? Is it a bargain bin, guys? What does the chat feel? Bargain bin or not? Bargain bin or not? We'll love to know from the chat. What do you think, guys? What's happening, Relevant Native? What's going on, Raxel? What's happening, Brian Baker?
I think that people, you know, the value that everyone has in a dollar is different depending on the person. True. It's hard to measure if the game is worth $60 or not, based off. Oh my goodness, based off how you think about money, or you know what I mean, like that kind of thing.
Right.
That being said, I personally, I was gonna wait. Like, if my friend didn't buy me this game, I was just gonna wait. Not for the price to go down. That wasn't my deciding factor. It was that the lack of end game that I heard about. I was just kind of like,
Damn.
And then it's just kind of like, not only that, it was mostly just all the issues it was having, the bugs, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, but I don't know about this, Chief. Like, I don't know about this, Chief. That being said, I have always stated that you should at least play through the game and don't worry about end game until you actually get to end game, because how are you going to worry about end game when you're not at end game? So there's that. But it is a thought that passed through my mind, and I was just gonna wait until I was mostly just gonna wait till that shit was fixed. You know what I mean? And there's so many games coming out. I feel like I don't have time to play
Yeah.
Anthem, even though I have a ton of fucking time to play Anthem. But it's just like there's Metro Exodus, which is amazing.
Right. Oh my god, whatever.
The Division 2 is coming out. Destiny 2's new DLC is coming out like next week. I don't have time. Oh, Sekiro is coming out. I don't have fucking time. I have to like pick and choose my goddamn looter shooters, man. Like the amount of time that the amount of time I've dedicated in Destiny 2 is disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And I'm just like, can I play some other games, please? And the idea of getting sucked into another game like that is honestly kind of freaking me out a little. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. But like I said, despite whatever they may have promised or whatever they may have said, BioWare fans go to BioWare for a BioWare game. And you can say, no, that's not fair to developers. They want to do something else. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, people cannot help but feel that way.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know.
Well, the only anthem getting played around my house right now is "Oh Canada, our home and native land." Jago's up in the chat. What's happening? Jago, stinking corpse. What's happening, guys? Yeah, we got a lot of people not really enjoying Anthem in here. Silent Wyvern's like, it makes me want to die. Like, that's a pretty rough statement. Man. But Jago loves it, says the world outside of Tarsus is pretty cool, all that stuff. So, yeah. So, anyway, let's
varying the opinions in the chat. Like, you really are not going to know until you actually play it yourself. You know, I played the demo for Destiny 2. I fucking hated that shit. Like, I hated it legitimately. Yeah. But then I ended up getting a hold of the full game, and I liked it a lot. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like this, Chief. And clearly, I fucking like it because I won't put it down. But you know, I think it depends. You know, taste is subjective. There are certain games where I'm like, there's no way I would like this, and I end up loving it. So, you know, if price is a factor for you, Noof, I would just wait for the price to go down and then pick it up later.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to another topic. We're going to get into a fun one here in a few minutes, but let's talk about Overkill's The Walking Dead game apparently got canceled for the consoles. This was a highly hyped title. I mean, it's a Walking Dead game, right? And it was highly hyped for a little while there. I know people were talking about it. Some people were, you know, super excited, and all of a sudden it kind of gets some feedback on the PC, and there goes the console version. How about you two ladies? Were either one of you following this game? Were you excited for it all? I mean, I'm a Walking Dead fan, so I was kind of
Walking Dead is boring trash. Okay, go ahead.
So is that your take on that game? You could give a shit, really?
Yeah, no, I don't care.
Gotcha. Primal?
I used to be a major Walking Dead fan until they completely went off of everything. I'm a big fan of the comics. I've read them all up until the Whisperers. We kind of saw this coming because it was one of those situations where something was portrayed as one thing and it didn't end up being what it was supposed to be. And I think that business is business, and Skybound did the right thing by saying, nope. You know, hey, they said something about that. It was great working with them, but they didn't meet their standards. And as somebody who is trying to represent The Walking Dead, it is a brand by now.
Absolutely.
You know, they are protecting themselves. I think it's fan-fucking-tastic that they picked up Telltale Walking Dead, because I absolutely love Clementine. I want her to murder everybody. But it's just business is business. Like I said, in a way, I feel like they're protecting me from disappointment. So if it had to happen, there had to be a good reason.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm kind of in both your camps. Like, I never saw enough to kind of really impress me, and past Walking Dead games haven't been that good. Sometimes you can have a great license. We've seen that a million times, but the games are subpar. And I don't know why that is, if it's a talent of the developer, or if it just comes down that they don't have enough time, or they don't have the budget, or they don't know how to properly translate the context of, you know, what they're doing. I mean, the Walking Dead Telltale games were fantastic, great story, and I think that's why they worked. So I don't know why they couldn't have combined something like that with some really good play mechanics from, say, a game like Left 4 Dead, for example. And I think you could have technically had a winner. Right? The Left 4 Dead games are fantastic. But yeah, What's it? Callie Rex in the chat reminded me of a good joke. What's the difference between the Titanic and your mama? More people went down on your mama. I couldn't help myself. I had to get that out there. But let's move along. Let's get into some more topics. I don't know if Primal, if you wanted to quickly bring up about the THQ thing there, and because somebody asked, we were going to chat about it real quick.
Yeah, it's friggin' stupid. So THQ Nordic decided to do an AMA, and out of all the places, out of everywhere in the internet, they go to 8chan. Now, 8chan is infamous for being the dirty, scumbag, disgusting people who should all be put in jail or castrated, and any of the above type website. They do some pretty disgusting and raunchy things to everybody, including minors. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever. I don't know who the fuck PR, whatever person was in charge of this that approved this. There should be no reason why a video game company of any type, any rating, should be doing an AMA and having them represented on 8chan. I don't know if somebody was like, I wonder if this is 4chan, but doubled. It was the most dumbest idea whatsoever. So TH Nordic is kind of swimming with sharks and trying to dig themselves out right now. This is a stupid mistake. And this goes with anybody trying to represent themselves. I know this show isn't your typical podcast. We say things. I think I said cock twice last episode. But I don't care. I'll add one in here too. There is absolutely no reason, especially when you are a major company that people know about, that even children know about. You should not be representing yourselves on a website like this. I don't know what the hell. This is the dumbest thing that's not true. That could be a completely different topic, but this is one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen a developer or company business do for anything.
Right. Luca, are you familiar with this? What's your take?
Oh yeah, this is what my take is, right? So unlike the idiots online, I actually did some research and looked into this. It wasn't a mistake. They were fully aware of what the website is. Do you know how fucking vague and obscure 8chan is? What the fuck is 8chan? Like, I know what 4chan is, but I didn't even know there was an 8chan. So if someone first of all, who doesn't know what 4chan is, to be perfectly honest? Like, I've known about 4chan since middle school. I'm 25. So it's like, if someone approached me to do, like, an AMA on a fucking forum, I'd be like, okay, cool. If I didn't know what the forum was, I would look up the forum first. It's like the first thing I would do. I would look that shit up. I'm like, okay, so what is this? If I apparently don't know what it is, what is this? Okay, cool. Do you know what the first thing you see when you load up the website? Okay. Winner of the 69 attention hungry games, lollies with a few extra inches. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about what a lolly is.
It's disgusting.
It's fucking disgusting. That's what it is. Yeah. But it's like, since I know what that is, I immediately have been like, nah, I'm good with this, chief. And then I would have looked it up. Not only that, this dude was on this website, allegedly, responding to people's posts where someone was like, hold on, let me find the shit. They were like...
Yes, we know Luca always keeps the receipts, people.
Absolutely. So they were like, please don't censor any game. Okay, so someone was like, please don't censor any games or appeal to social justice crowd. You guys are doing fine. And then THQ responds with, thanks, we'll try to stay that way. And then someone else posts saying, where are the big titty lollies at, with a picture. And then they said, you got them already, we stay. Now, I understand that you're laughing, Noof, but lollies are like girls under the age of what, 13?
Yeah, they're underage girls.
It's way underage.
A lot of pedophilia. And
it's like
I don't dig that shit. That's terrible.
Yeah, so it's like, so dude responded with, oh yeah, it seems like you got enough of those already. Not only that, in their initial post saying that's where they're gonna do their AMA, they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, guys. So-and-so, Mark said that he was going to take care of, like, the nasty stuff on there. What nasty stuff do you think he's referring to? Like, you got to be some kind of fucking idiot to not know what the website is. It took me literally seconds to figure out what 8chan was. I looked up 8chan, and it was just like, yeah, this is what 8chan is. I was like, oh, okay, definitely not going there. You know what I mean? I don't even know what kind of fucking virus I got by clicking on that goddamn link. So it's like, for me, they knew what they were doing, and there's nothing else to say about it. You know, there's really nothing else to say. But I had people arguing with me about it. Like, won't he apologize, Luca?
Well,
like, why are you always railing against people, Luca? What happened to, innocent until proven guilty, Luca? And I'm just like, did you actually look into this, or did you immediately go on the defensive for a fucking stranger on the internet and just assume that I was attacking them out of nowhere? Is that what you did? Oh, that's what you did because you're a fucking dumbass. Oh, wow. I'm so shocked. Yeah. And then when I prove 2 people wrong today because these fucking idiots, because that's what they are, fucking idiots, just want to come and question me. Bro, I'm sorry, but when it comes to things involving children and the abuse of children, I'm going to be a fucking asshole to you about it if you try to come at me with some dumb shit. Like, fuck you. What's wrong with you? Why would you defend anyone who has anything to do with anything involving children? Exactly. Like, what the hell, man? Like, it doesn't even make any sense to me. I can't even comprehend it. I would never, ever, bro, even if, like, one of my homies was accused of that shit, I'd be like, bye. Bro, even if you didn't do that shit, I don't know why you're even being accused of that in that realm. Like, what the hell is going on? I wouldn't automatically jump to that person's defense if they get accused of being associated with something that vile. I'd be like, let me find out the facts first, because this is bad. Indeed. It's bad. And the fucking crazy thing is, you know what? Let me check the website, the THQ, to see if they say, bro, if they still have these goddamn posts up, they knew what they were doing, and their little false apology doesn't mean shit to me. It doesn't mean shit at all. Like, this is the internet, my guy. Like, people will find out things real quick. Like, they also like to post from a fucking dude saying, hey, these people are just being sensitive or whatever. Like, bro, it's like literally right here. Like, the post says, don't worry about it. Lots of sensitive Simons here at the moment. The AMA is going well, and it's pretty funny, guy. Damn. So he liked that post, and then the post about them fucking going to the website is still fucking there. Like, come on, man. Like, this was on purpose. They knew what they were doing, and they exposed thousands of people to that fucking sick, vile shit. And honestly, I don't usually rally for people to get fired. Fuck whoever did this. I hope they get fired. Fuck them. Like, seriously.
Well, let me just say that, it's pretty bad when THQ is getting more publicity for something like this than they do from the games that they published. Not good sign, guys. Get back to gaming and stay away from these fucking seedy-ass websites and doing stupid shit. Or Luca will come over and put the fucking sensibility police on your ass, because she keeps the receipts. She's there. Let's move along. That subject is that's a crazy one, and but I agree with you wholeheartedly. That pedophilia fucking shit, any of that stuff is uncalled for. It's gross, it's nasty. I don't know why people get into that shit, but so let's get into another topic and let's have a little fun. Let's liven things up and have a little fun on this one before we kind of get down to our last few topics of the night and close out the show. Again, thanks to everybody hanging out with us in the chat. It's myself, my co-host Primal Eve, the Ashen Luca. Make sure you go follow these lovely ladies online if you're not doing so already. I want to talk about well, I'll quickly, let's get into the light and fluffy topics, and then we'll close up with a couple more. But let's talk about annoying gaming pet peeves. This should be interesting. I want to know, ladies, what are your annoying gaming pet peeves? Everybody has ones that just drive you bonkers, and I'll get into mine in a second. But let's start with you, Primal. What the hell, drives you up the wall when it comes to gaming pet peeves? I'm sure you got at least one or two.
I have quite a few.
Love to hear from the chat on this too. What drives you nuts in the chat? We'll hopefully read out a few comments from you guys. But go ahead, Primal.
Just basic stuff. Well, we'll start basic. Cameras, controls. If you're not able to change them at all, what the fuck? Another one is your inventory control. Resident Evil is one of the ones that drives me nuts because you have to fit everything like a Tetris puzzle to have everything fit. There was another game too, I can't remember off the top of my head, where you can actually rotate your item to make it fit. But for me, I don't know if I'm getting burnt out or if I'm getting too old for this shit, but the storylines lately, I'm tired of the guy having to save the girl, having to save the world. I'm tired of being the good guy. I want some more evil shit. I want if a guy is trying to save a girl, but the girl kills him, like I'm kind of fucked up, but I need something new. I'm kind of tired of the same exact story being rehashed. One of my favorite DLCs that I've played was in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where you actually get to play as Jack the Ripper and you get to kill everybody. I don't know, but I absolutely love it. I love games that have more story to it, like twist to it, instead of being predictable, do this, do that, and then game over. um I don't know, there's probably like 100 million more. There's certain game mechanics that I just don't, I don't know, some of the fingering is awkward. I feel
Fingering.
like sometimes I feel like sometimes that that people don't actually pay attention to where their button configuration is, and you can't change it, and it's just awkward fingering. But
Right.
that hasn't happened at all lately.
Didn't know there was such a thing as awkward fingering, but okay, yeah.
Oh, it happens, and then you get like the little slip, and then it's okay. Um, I
uh,
don't know, just non-smooth game mechanics. I want to not have to climb a wall 800 times to get over the damn wall. Certain little things like that. But the storylines, I think, drive me nuts.
right.
I'm tired of being the goody two shoes. I'm tired of being the perfect protagonist. I'm tired of having this girly bitch always fucking. Oh, that reminds me. I'm tired of all these escort missions where these people walk slow as fuck and they don't
Right.
even help you fight and they end up dying. I loved Assassin's Creed Origins, but fuck everybody I had to save. I don't think I saved a goddamn one of them. So
Gotcha.
that's it.
Well, I like what Raxel says in the chat. He says boxes. Boxes. We got a few people that say the loading screens. That's always a thing to piss you off in a game. Who else? We got us micro. Silence says people say microtransactions are okay. They're just cosmetic. Axel says screechers annoy me in games. Cast theory. People eating while on the mic. Oh my god, yes. That on podcasts, you get people on a podcast. They're like,
I do that shit to annoy
and you're
the
like, what
fuck
the
out
fuck,
of people.
man?
If you ever play with me and Lunch Bizzle, we have this thing where we both buy a can of Stacks or a thing of Stacks, and we each chew a chip like one at a time so that we're hearing. It's the most annoying fucking thing in the world. I hate it.
Yeah, those are the crunchy fuckers. You hear those a mile away, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh my god. Yes, indeed. Luca, how about yourself? What annoys you? What's some of your gaming pet peeves? It can be like in a game itself, or it can be like things associated with games.
I don't like. So the controls in Detroit Become Human made me want to jump off a building. Like that shit pissed me off so bad. Like I was real angry about that. So I don't like shitty controls. I don't like loading screens. Destiny's loading screens piss me off so badly, like all the time. I'm like, can we be on this planet already? It's really annoying. So I don't like that. I don't like those missions where if you fail, like an escort mission where if they get too far away or whatever, it fails you. Now games don't really seem to do that too much, but I remember often anymore. But I remember when I used to play the older Assassin's Creed, they used to do that shit all the time. It should have me so angry. Oh, you fail the mission if the enemy spots you. I don't like that shit either. I don't like. Let's see what else gets on my nerves. I fucking hate. Listen, I love Destiny, but there are some quests in Destiny that make me want to jump off a building, where it's just like a lot of mindless, tedious bullshit that you have to do, and just to pad out the time. So I don't like that. I also don't like where I was like struggling to change the fucking voices in Metro to Russian because I hate RTM's voice. It gets on my nerves. So I did like it took a minute for that to change. Yeah, that's mostly. I'm sure there's a ton of other things because there's so many things that annoy me in general. So I know that there's a lot more in gaming too.
Yeah, BZ McNasty says stealth, and in some games it's done well. Some games it is terrible. I totally agree, BZ. Especially those ones where it's pretty much this guy can't see me, but somehow you get a certain spot and it's like, and you're like, what the? I remember that's why I couldn't stand the original Splinter Cell games. The original Splinter Cell games drove me nuts up until Chaos Theory, and the reason Chaos Theory was way more tolerable because one, the game had improved a lot from its mechanics and everything else, and two, they had a auto save anywhere feature. So it was kind of like if you decided to try something, at least you didn't have to go like 5 miles back to the fucking start again. You know what I mean? Because then I start getting impatient, right? And that's a big problem with me playing games is I get impatient really quick. And like stealth and puzzles for me, is Spider-Man in the chat can tell you, stealth and puzzles will drive new fucking nuts.
Oh my god, true. There was fucking puzzles in Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh my god, I was like, bro, can we not?
I love puzzles.
Those alien, what the fuck were they called? Those alien covenant puzzles with the weird symbols. They used to drive me nuts.
Oh my god, that shit had me. That had me big mad, bro. I was like, I hate this shit. Oh, someone said a good one in the chat. He said, I hate when a game gives you an illusion of choice. Life is strange, bitch. Life is strange. Okay, you know, it's none of my business though. Listen, there's just so many things. But I hate puzzles in games. Like, I'm with you 100% on that. I fucking hate that shit. If I wanted to play a puzzle, I'd go play a goddamn puzzle. I don't want to fucking play a puzzle in a game. Just let me shoot shit, man, or slice things up.
Yeah, I like the stuff in Tomb Raider, like because they don't go too far. Like, there's just little things about how to solve the tomb or different stuff. Most of it's just like environmental stuff. It's not like, oh, you got to figure what 8 + 5 is minus 52, and then move a couple of blocks and all that fucking shit. But yeah, I was gonna say one of my pet peeves, and this is like not in a game itself, is fucking people that come to my house and eat fucking greasy ass food and touch my fucking controller. I want to fucking slap your goddamn fingers. Okay, like I don't want slimy fucking controllers after I'm done. Like, wash your fucking hands. Half of them got any nose. They go to the bathroom, probably piss, and then they come out and touch my controllers. And that just fucking turns my guts right there. Because look, I see it all the time. You go to a fucking restaurant and you walk in and you take a piss. You go to wash your hand. You watch a guy come in behind you take a piss. He doesn't wash his hands. I'm thinking that motherfucker's going back to eat. He's probably shaking hands with somebody. Like, wash your fucking hands. No wonder everybody got colds and shit all the time. It's like there's germs. God damn it. Anyway, that sounds like a topic Cletus would want to bust out. I should have asked Cletus to say hello. He hasn't been around for a while. Cletus, what's happening, man?
Well, yeah, Cletus here. First of all, I got fucking excited today because I heard there was 2 lovely ladies coming up on a gaming after dark. Now, ladies, I'm still single, and I'm tired of fucking pigs. So if you got some time, you can do this Cletus a call, okay?
It depends on if your dentures come out or not.
Oh man, no doubt.
Not being able to fast travel is another one.
Oh yes, indeed. Oh my god, there's so many of them.
No, it depends on the game. Like if it's like an open world game, not being able to fast travel is an issue. But like take Dead Space for instance, that didn't bother me at all. So.
And like you said about loading screens, though, like here we are in this day and age, and they've improved everything about gaming except fucking loading screens. I remember back in the day, they said, well, eventually we're going to have disk drives that are fast enough, blah, 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 to be less loading screens. It's like every time we get these games out, it's like, loading. And you sit, like, at least if you're going to do a loading screen, do them fun, like have something you can do while you're fucking sitting there waiting for it to load. It's like, what the hell, right? Yes, I got 2 ladies tonight, Supersonic Station. How did that happen, right?
I don't know.
Bring your own controller to Chaos Theory. I like that idea, man. But my buddies who always come over to my house, they don't have Xboxes and shit, so they come over and they be sitting there eating their chips and stuff, and it's like, dude, it's like, go rinse your hands because they're fucking greasy. And then I take the controller, and it's like, man, my hands are fucking sliding off this thing. It's like, and then you got to get out your, the fucking little, I get out the whatchamacallit to scrape the crusties out, the fucking jizz crumbs, or whatever the fuck it is. There you go. Secret word of the night: jizz crumbs, people. Jizz crumbs. What's that, Primal?
No, you said crumbs, and I thought a crumb cake, but not
not that kind of crumb cake.
Like a jizz crumb cake or anything cream filled. No, I was just thinking about a regular crumb cake.
Oh, that kind of crumbs. Oh my god, the crumb side. Crumb side. All right, let's get back to we'll soon be winding down the podcast. I did want to touch on this one a little bit because it sort of segues a little bit from our earlier topic about how gaming landscape is changing, and this one is kind of related in a sense. Apparently Samsung, they're going to stop producing their Blu Ray disc drive players this year. I mean, Samsung is one of the biggest players in the electronics game, period. So like, is that a telltale sign of where we're heading? Like, why do you think they're stepping away from the business? And again, is that just a sign that, again, our days are numbered from a physical medium? Anyone want to take the floor on that one?
It's probably just
Neutral?
because people are still buying DVDs and over Blu-rays. So I don't know. I mean, it's really unfortunate that they did this. I think that is indicative of something else, and it's definitely something to keep in mind and be watchful of over the next couple of years. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Primal?
It's the process of what the future is bringing us. You know, back in the day, we had VHSs, please be kind, rewind, you know, type thing, Blockbuster, Hollywood Video. They're all dying off in exchange for something else. Now we have Netflix and
Right.
Hulu and all these other streaming apps and whatnot. It's just it's more convenient to just buy it digitally.
Yeah.
DVDs, I do believe, will eventually be gone. Maybe there will be some type of collector's edition and whatnot, but it's just everything is starting to get phased out for the next thing.
Right. Do you guys think it's a scenario too where like most of the 4K Blu-ray players that are on the market, probably the largest portion of them happen to be Xbox Ones? Because I know when the PlayStation 3 came out, that was actually what drove Blu-ray discs more so than standalone players. Because if you looked at it, while the PS3 was fairly expensive, you were getting a game console plus a Blu-ray disc player at the time, which was actually cheaper to buy a PS3 to watch Blu-rays than it was to buy the standalones. And what we're seeing now is you walk into a store, say to buy a standalone Blu-ray player, right? And they're like $300 or $400, some of those things. And that's just for the fucking like a Blu-ray player, or sorry, a 4K Blu-ray player. And you can get an Xbox One S, right? Which is actually cheaper. So you think is that part of the thing, like maybe as well as just that the consoles are leading the way in that area, and that might be part of the reason? Like they're like, we don't want to compete with the console, or because it's really weird because people aren't buying. It's weird how many people are still buying fucking DVDs though. That's the weird thing. Like I walk into Walmart and it's like, why isn't 4K or even Blu-rays for that matter dominating over DVD, which is like, at least with Blu-ray and 4K, they're like superior formats compared to like DVD's fucking shit when you look at it. Like what's DVD 480p? Like you can play that shit on your old CRT TV, right? It's like, why are people still buying? Like I can understand medium changing when it's actually improving, when it gives you a better quality. Like who the fuck would listen to music on an 8-track player, for example? They're very inconvenient, right? You know what I mean? But when but that's the thing. We're gaming on discs and all that stuff, and movies. It's obviously the best format is to go with like the Blu-ray or even 4K, right? So I don't understand why DVDs are still so big. Like people are they that fucking cheap? Nobody can go out and buy a Blu-ray, or what? What's the deal here?
It's all like I said with the phasing out, but like you said, I remember when I was selling PS3s, my biggest thing was the Blu-ray thing. And I remember when the 360 first came out and they had this HD DVD hardware piece that you could attach to your Xbox so that you could play HD DVDs. Those didn't even last a year, it feels like, and they were already gone. It's just everything's being phased out. I don't believe it's necessarily because of consoles.
Right.
Like I said before, it's a process.
Monkey Punch says it's the price, and he probably has a big point. Price usually always determines every selling factor. Like that's the way people are in this world, right? If they can get something cheaper, some people just don't really care, or they don't know about the quality. Like obviously most of the gamers that are probably in this podcast and watching this podcast, like obviously are connoisseurs for quality. They want the best usually, but like the average consumer doesn't even know, doesn't really care. They just look at the price and go, oh, well, the DVD is like $3, but that Blu-ray, it's like $9. So fuck it. You know what I mean? So, it's like those idiots that keep having kids because they buy the cheap condoms. They're just like, oh, those condoms are like $1.50 and they already come with holes pre-punched. They must be fucking ventilation. You know what I mean? Sure, like go splurge, get yourself the Magnums, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's probably just price. Yeah, I'm with Eve. They're just phasing things out. I don't think it has anything to do with the consoles.
Chaos Theory, you're still running 1080p, you fucking layman, you.
Oh, I had a 720p TV up until 2017. So
I'm just teasing and pulling your fucking legs. You can pull something else on me if you like, but that's a different story. All right. So I think, well, it is sad. I mean, because Samsung, like I said, is a big player, and it is sort of a telltale of perhaps where the industry's going. Usually, when one of the big leaders starts to back away, it's not long before other people follow suit. But mind you, there is an opportunity for, say, someone to go all in, say, like LG or a competitor, is to double down and become the market leader by, putting out more affordable 4K units on the market and see where it goes. Like, that's how I would approach it. But again, that's a new thing, right? But let's get into a couple more topics. Luke, I don't know if you're pressed for time. It is getting late on the East Coast, or for you ladies, but we won't keep you much longer here. Did a couple more here before we close out the show. Let me just take a look at where we're at in the timeline. Hope everybody's doing good tonight, guys. Appreciate everybody showing up and having a great time. Actually, I think we did get to all of the topics.
I think we covered everything, bud.
I think we did. I think we covered everything, actually. That's all I had planned for tonight. So, yeah, I'm going to let everybody get out of here. Obviously, like I said, big thanks to everybody in the chat. I don't know if I gave everybody a shout out. If I didn't, I do apologize, because you're all fantastic. I really appreciate not only the old viewers here tonight, but a lot of new people showing up in the chat. I got a feeling Luca brought over some of her scummies with her here. People that follow her on Scumcast things. The scummies, that's a new word for you now. You're scummies. Well, you got scummies, I got crummies, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what Primal's got yet, but chances are, if you're packing heat, she's got a treat. There we go. She's ready to go.
Some scummy crummies is what I could have going on.
Scummy crummies in your bummies.
Okay.
Oh boy, we just went off the rails.
Horrible.
Derailed.
I might have to save it for after the show.
Cheers, man. What's happening, man? Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Speaking Corbs, Jago Kukin, two of my brothers. Love you guys. You're fantastic. Titan Drago, Saltiest Gaming. The list goes on. Draven Arrow Man, Brian F, Silent Wyvern. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are fantastic. So I'll let our guest start first. Luca, where can people find you? What you got upcoming? All that good stuff.
You guys can find me on Twitter at the Ashen Luca. I also have a YouTube channel where I do a podcast called Scumcast, where we all just come together. I'm cool with a lot of PlayStation guys and some Xbox guys, so I get them on the show and they argue, and it's entertaining for me. We try to keep it clean to a certain point. Like, we don't I don't condone personal attacks. I think that shit's dumb, especially since it's over video games. But like bashing someone because they're like a fanboy, it's whatever. But like going after someone because of some personal shit, because you're mad because they don't like your console, it's dumb. So we don't do any of that on my show. It's just jokes, just jokes. So, but thank you very much for having me. And Eve, it was very nice to meet you. I shall follow you on Twitter.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Primal Eve, my co-host, you are awesome as always. We both you ladies are fantastic. I couldn't wait to get both of you on this podcast together. It was good. That's sorry for the sort of late invitation, Luca, but I do appreciate you coming out. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to roll a guest this week, and I thought, you know what, it'd be great to get you on this podcast. You know what? I always remember. I think it was it Goofing with New? No, I don't know if it was Goofing with New, but one of my first podcasts. I think it was episode 3 in, and you were a guest on there, Luca. Remember we played Tomb Raider? We had a blast.
I do remember that.
It's fantastic. That's a ways back, man. Shit, time flies, man, when you're having fun. And Primal, you obviously let people know where you can find your snail trail.
I had nothing to go back to that. All right, if you guys want to follow me, if you aren't following me already, and I'm not talking about through my blinds, you can follow me on Twitter at Primal Eve. I am also on the Xbox as Primal Eve. It is 2 words. I've had some people be like, I can't find you. I'm like, it's 2 words. So make sure you get that gap between the words. I am usually playing, well, lately I've been playing some Anthem, but I do have this horrible Apex Legends itch, and I'm usually looking for a 3rd person. So if anybody wants to join me on there, you can hit me up. It does look like I'm appearing offline. It's lying to you, or is it? So don't be afraid to shoot me a message. I try to get back to all the messages as soon as possible.
You know, I was shocked. No UK Dazzy tonight. He must be passed out. Where the fuck is he? Dazzy always can smell when Primal's ready to roll. He's always in there lurking around the corner somewhere. Anyways, Spider-Man 356, man, thanks for coming out as well. Spider-Man, I always got to give a shout out to him, man, because the dude's fucking here at almost every podcast or every stream I do.
Really nice guy. He messages me on Xbox Live to ask how I'm doing and stuff. So
yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, he's Canadian too. He's like not too far from me. We haven't met yet, but you never know what'll happen. Axel's like Dazzy's pissed. I think that's referring to Dazzy. But anyway, guys, wow, 4:15 in the UK. Damn, you guys get up fucking early, or you're still up. I don't know what it is. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna get out of here, guys. You know where to find me. Always in the gutter. We'll be back same time, same place next week with another episode of Gaming After Dark. It's your gaming chat with a bunch of dirty talk and stuff in there in between. Yes, we like to get in between things on this podcast, don't we? But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. You know where to find me on Xbox Live at Doof Nukem, on the PlayStation at Noof Nukem 76. Thanks again, Luca, for being a guest tonight. Thanks to all the chat. Thank you, Primal. We'll see you guys next week. Keep it real, keep it fun, keep it gaming. Don't be a smart ass, just be a cool ass. That's how we like it. Have fun, everybody. Catch you later. And we're off.